welcome to the great debate. I'm glad to see you all here. You mentioned the most important thing, first of all, which was the beer over there. I'm going to explain how that works in just a moment. But why the great debate? Why are we here today? Well, the reason we're doing this great debate is because we think it's a great way to cut through all the clutter and address the issues openly. Without any of the office politics, we want to jumpstart a really healthy discussion. So our debaters, who have just been introduced by name, but I'm going to introduce them more completely in just a second, they're going to discuss topics ranging from terrorism to tourism and destination growth limits, and they're even going to argue if DMO websites are a waste of time and money. So we know that question is really controversial. So before we let these leaders go head-to-head, let's get started and explain some of the rules. The most important thing is that if you want a free beer at any time, all you have to do is put up your hand. And someone's going to come over. It's a bit like a bidding auction. The only difference is there's no Q&A. So don't worry, we're not going to approach you and ask you to ask your own questions. So I need a little test to see if this works. So who wants a beer? Just raise your hands. We've got enough for everybody. Okay. Sorry there if I just screwed up the logistics of this. Okay, and this is thanks to ADARA, who are sponsoring this session. So they're providing a beer. Huge thanks to ADARA there. Next, now we get down to the nitty-gritty. I'm going to show you a question. You're going to vote spontaneously on what you think is the right answer. And then we're going to flip a coin to decide whether Doug or Ted will take. And they don't know. They get 2.5 minutes to make their case. And then, at the end of that, they get 30 seconds to do a quick rebuttal. And then you're going to vote again, and we'll see if their arguments have swayed you to think differently during those 2.5 minutes that each of them had. I should make a little disclaimer here that Doug and Ted are trying to win the debate, but they don't necessarily represent their own views. So they're really trying to win a debate here. So, without any further ado, and let's roll the music and introduce Ted and Doug to the stage. Thank you. Here we go.
Get ready to rumble!
So, we've got in the gray suit weighing in at almost 90 kilos and coming from the barbecue capital, Kansas City, located right in the middle of North America's newest, most famous dictatorship. He's currently holding the title of Vice President of Global Destination Analytics at ADARA, and he was previously at the agency MMGY, where he's been working in the industry for more than 20 years. And did you know what? Only 16 people in the whole of ITB are yet to have a drink with him. So if you're one of those 16, make sure you join him.
Until now.
And weighing in to my right, we've got in the gray suit at 80 kilos, and hailing from the frozen state of Minnesota, also the heart of Trumpland, we've got Doug Lansky, a journalist for 20 years working in the travel industry, and he's certainly got a lot of his own thoughts. And he's still recovering from Sweden's own fake terrorist attack. Now, calm down, guys. Calm down. You're going to have plenty of time to face off each other. So just hold on a second there. So, are you ready?
Let's do it.
I said, are you ready, guys? Come on, you're not loud enough. You're not going to get beers like that. Okay, very good, very good. So, are we ready for the first question?
Let's do it. Bring it.
Okay, so the first question. Should a destination that's currently safe promote itself as a safe place to visit? We're not talking about the obvious places. We're talking about destinations which are generally considered as safe destinations. So, we're going to ask you, the audience, the question. You've all got some number pads in front of you. If you think yes, we want you to press 1. And if you think no, we want you to press 2. So you've got 10 seconds to vote. Is everybody ready? Have you all got your... Yep? Okay, great. So off we go. Let's see what people think.
This is exciting.
It's very exciting. It's quite tense.
Exciting. Let's do it.
Okay, it's closing.
Wow.
Off the screen, wow. So I guess that people think yes. So let's see how you guys debate this. So the next, I'm going to get my famous coin flipper, who's come and stand right in the middle there. No pressure. Your job is to flip a coin, and we'll see who goes first. So Ted, I'm going to put you first. If it's heads, you're going to vote for it, and if it's tails, you're going to vote against. So off you go. Let's see what we've got. This is why I didn't want to do it myself. It's heads. So you're going to be arguing in favor, so arguing for a yes.
Okay, we ready? I'm so glad it's a yes. Absolutely, destinations should market themselves as safe. Do you guys know over the past 10 years, when they really judge why people are going to certain destinations, you know the biggest growing factor every single year? You know what it is? Safety, right? Okay? So that's why they need to do it. And of course we need to market ourselves as safe because of all this fake news going on out there, right? There's so much fake news saying where places are dangerous. Trust me, I'm an American. I know what it's like to deal with fear-mongering right now, right? Let me give you an example. I was talking to my buddies last week, and I said, hey guys, I'm going to go to Berlin next week. It's one of my favorite cities in the world. And one of my friends said, Ted, you got to be careful, man. You remember last year in Berlin when that bomb almost went off in the train depot? It's like, what? Are you talking about the television show Homeland? He's like, well, yeah, but that shit happens all the time, everywhere, man. You got to be careful. That is not the case, and that is not the truth. We need to get better at marketing ourselves as actually being safe, right? Because here's the thing. I'm not saying put a target on the back of certain destinations like Berlin and New York and Nice and Paris and stuff. We do a terrible job of actually marketing ourselves as safe. Let me give you an example. For passports, people are resilient. We had 200,000 passports in 1970. Right now, we're close to 2 billion. All right? So even though that's going on, that means we're actually traveling a whole lot more out there. What we need to do is educate all the travelers about the probability. What I mean is the probability. The probability of a terrorist attack is completely different than the probability of being the victim of a terrorist attack. Did you know you are twice as likely to get struck by lightning than be a victim of a terrorist attack? That's crazy. The truth is, it's actually travel is safer than home. Travel is safer than home, and we are not marketing that. And you know where I found that stat? I found that stat on Rick Steves. I looked everywhere, but Rick Steves, a little blogger, is where I found that stat. It shouldn't be that hard to find. Think about the airlines. The airlines market how safe they are. They don't really talk about Lufthansa safe, Delta safe, that. But we know airline travel is safe. We need to do the same thing as a destination. Travel is safer than home, all right? So yes, we need to market that. We need to find a global strategy to market how safe we are because it is safe. And the fact that it's dangerous is wrong. Let's get better at it and let's market that we're safer.
Very good. And well within your time. So now it's your turn, Doug.
All right. Danger keeps people away, but that's not the same as saying safety attracts people. If safety's all you got, you're in big trouble. There's no substance to it. It's not what gets people excited to travel. No one says, hey, Mom, this year let's go someplace that won't get us killed. You may think that you're safe because you haven't had a terror attack or major natural disaster recently, but both of those things can happen anywhere. And if you don't believe that, you're fooling yourself, especially with Trump in power. He might bomb Sweden or Australia himself next week. If you market safety, it's not like a car where you can show airbags and reinforced steel. You're marketing a condition, and conditions change. It'd be like marketing a destination for being really cheap because you got a favorable exchange rate that week. And we all know that can change at any minute, and it can blow up in your face. Plus, the kind of people who show up at a place just because they were told it's safe are the kind of worriers who are quickly likely to unbook their trip in a heartbeat if the second something goes south, and they're the ones who are likely to complain loudly if and when something definitely goes wrong.
Very good. Okay, so you've got 30 seconds to do the rebuttal.
I completely disagree with that. I'm sorry. Yeah, to say that people don't travel for safety and everything like that, absolutely they do. My family was just in Nice, and they were there the night when the attack went on. They've actually stayed throughout the whole time. They're actually making a trip to go back because they loved it so much. When I was talking about the passport number, there are going to be an increased number of travelers. We're getting sick of these idiots that are doing this stuff. As a group, we are doing that. Yes, we travel someplace we're safe, and I think we just need to market that better. I disagree saying that we don't market that way. You can do it in a different way. I'm not saying, hey, you're not going to get bombed when you come to Chicago. I'm just saying, yes, we are safe.
You're out of time. Doug, over to you. Your 30 seconds.
Ted, the best thing to do is to just be a safe destination and take steps to be a safe destination and let your safety record speak for itself. This is what airlines do. If you're a great dancer, you don't go out and tell everyone how amazing of a dancer you are as you sit on the side. You just get out and show them. Same thing with travel.
All right.
All right. So, have they persuaded you differently? Now is the time to vote again. Let's see how well your arguments performed. You've got 10 seconds to vote again, starting now. And the pressure is on. Who's going to win this first question?
It's who moves the needle the most.
Who moves the needle?
I think it was like 45% before.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Okay. So, Doug.
I mean, come on.
Damn.
I think it's only question one, so
all right.
I understand the fighting talk there. I understand the fighting talk.
Right.
So
that was a tough one.
So Doug,
anyway.
clearly ahead in the game so far. Okay, right. So Doug, the next one is for you. I need my coin flipper once more. Let's try again. So
we got to show them.
If it's a yes, you're going to vote in favor. But first, we're going to go to the audience and ask the question to the audience. So the second question is, should we focus more marketing funds on the visitor welcome? So you've got 10 seconds to vote on this question. Your 10 seconds starts now. Should we focus more marketing funds on the visitor welcome? 5 seconds to answer that. Oh, very close, very close. 52 and 47. 52 saying we should.
I'm a little surprised by it.
Okay, let's see who's going to argue which side of the debate. Flip the coin, please. So, what have you got for Doug? Doug, arguing in favor of that.
Yeah, well, that's good. We got a little bit lucky. We'd each gotten a wild card that we could use to veto it over one question, and this was the one I was going to use. I really wanted to take this side. So I can get my time going now? So some places, you remember the Hawaiian lei? Some places used to, when you went to Hawaii, they'd put a ring of flowers around your neck. You can still do that, but you have to pay for it yourself and order it advance online. So when you get to Hawaii now, if you've done that, they'll come up and put a ring of flowers around you. And what are you supposed to say? That's so nice of me. It's weird what's happened. It used to be a genuine act of welcoming, and that's changed. I have one slide I wanted to show, because we're allowed to, I want to put up one slide. This is from TripAdvisor. It shows when people are most excited about their trip during their trip. And you can see it's right at arrival. It's an extremely important touch point. Right? And look at the money that we put into airports these days. It's to turn them into giant shopping malls. They all look alike. But what happens? You get off the plane, you wander through some crowded waiting area, down some hallways, you get your luggage, and then you have this big moment where you've got your luggage and the doors open, and you walk out into the actual destination. And often there's like 20 to 250 people waiting there. Many of them are drivers or family members all waiting for someone. And what they do is they look you over head to toe and then are immediately disappointed that you're not someone else. You get greeted in every destination by 200 people who wish you were somebody else and are extremely disappointed to see you. That's the current way that we welcome people into these destinations. And we can definitely do better. And then you step into a taxi. They're not always cleaned. They're not always well-trained to point out things on the way home or give you a nice service welcome. The thing is, the solutions do not need to be expensive. Imagine if you landed in the US and they were playing some great Bruce Springsteen music. If there was a person there with a big hat, cowboy hat on, a big smile, a tray with some drinks, water, juice, Coke, Diet Coke, and just said, "Welcome to the US, so glad that you came, have a great trip," or "Welcome home, give you a free drink." Get it sponsored by Coke, maybe. It doesn't have to cost much at all, but we could do something. Imagine if the taxi drivers had a MiFi. So you sit in the taxi, they say, "Hey, if you want to use the free internet in this cab, here's the password." How welcoming and wonderful is that? These are simple, easy steps we can do to just make people feel welcome when they come. Time up?
Nearly.
There we go.
All right.
Over to you.
Okay. That was good.
Have at it, Ted.
Argue against, Ted.
Okay.
Let's see what you got.
If we go back to I have slides. What we got back there? I don't see anything.
Click again.
There we go. All right, let's go to welcome. I think Doug just wants to feel welcome. I think wherever he goes places, people don't welcome Doug enough, and he's bummed out. Maybe that's because you keep talking about tsunamis and SARS and stuff, maybe. People don't like that. I'm going to give you one major example as to why we don't need to focus on the welcome as a destination. What is the primary role of a DMO? Think about it. What is the primary role of a DMO? The promotion of a destination as a preferred location for national and international business travel and events. That is the top of the funnel. Our job is to inspire and get them here. When they're already here for the welcome, your job is done. So why are we focus money and stuff like that on the welcome? Okay? Your job is to get them here. It's for everybody else to say, hey, and what's going on. Let me give you a couple examples of this and why this is right. All right. Welcome to Berlin, where everyone is a tourist and bike lanes don't matter. This would have been funny when I got into Berlin. But I got to Berlin, no one cares. Did anyone spend any more than 10 minutes in Tegel when they flew in here, other than to get your bag and get your car and get to your hotel? Anyone?
Yeah,
No.
I did.
Maybe because maybe you lost a bag. But that was fine. I was fine with the welcome to Berlin. Here's the other reason. You know when he was talking about the Lays? Hawaii dropped the Lays program because it had nothing to do with retention. It cost them millions of dollars a year on the DMO. And they said, you know what? No one cares. We're going to drop it. It didn't have a factor at all. New Mexico Tourism closed 8 of their welcome centers at about a $500,000 a year thing because it didn't matter. People were going by the welcome center because they were getting more information on their phone than in the welcome center. It had nothing to do with retention at all of the visitor. Think about that. Think about millennials. That's who we're all marketing to, right? Millennials don't give a rat's because they want a realistic thing. If you hand them like a Coke and all that, you think they care? They could care less, right? They are all about a bucket list. They want to go everywhere in the world. They want to experience everything they want to experience. So it's counterintuitive to think you're going to develop a relationship with them. And millennials are always on their phone anyway, so if you bring them a Coke or something, they're not going to see it, Doug, all right? Think about that. Text them welcome or thank you. Let me focus on my very last point. Any of you guys, when you go into an Irish pub, does anyone ever go, oh, welcome to Sullivan's, we're so happy to see you? They could care less. When you go into an Irish pub, because it's quaint, you go there, it's about the experience in the place. It's about the thank you for coming to our pub. We hope you had a good time, just like you had a good time at a party. No one cares about the welcome. It's not our role. Retain the customer and get them to come back by the experience. That's what you focus on, not the welcome.
Great, good arguments on both sides. So you've got 30 seconds now.
Wow, where
to
to
do the
begin?
rebuttal.
Where to begin? Okay, the Lays program stopped about 25 years ago, way before then they had the analytics that you were imagining. I have no idea where you got those. That sign at the airport in Berlin, I'd agree with you, which is why I say we need to do better than just putting up a simple sign. And the welcome centers, that's for information. They're not very welcoming, and they never really have been, and we can definitely do better than that, especially since we have all that info on our phone. Here's the thing, though. If you're a destination, you have less control of your product than almost any other marketer. Why not jump in at this key moment when you finally have a great opportunity you can actually control and influence? It doesn't have to be expensive at all. Just a little creativity goes a long way.
Okay.
Over to you.
I will rebuttal when he's saying that, yes, it's about data. Absolutely it is. You want to develop that relationship with the customer more so than just welcome them to that, right? So actually find that out with the data and use that. The DMO did drop the Lays program. That was actually now the airlines picked that up more so for each individual airline, and they're absorbing the cost only on maybe 1 or 2 airlines, not all of them like they used to be. The data is showing that the welcome doesn't matter, the relationship matters, the thank you and please come again is what's really effective, and if that's where you're going to market money to get them to come back, don't focus on the welcome.
Good arguments on both sides. So, what do you guys think? Has it changed your opinion? Let's have another vote. Let's bring it up. So, answering again, should we focus more marketing funds on the visitor welcome? Who pushed you to think on the other side? So, you've got 10 seconds.
Good luck.
Good luck.
I know who convinced me. But
You're welcome.
I'm not giving the game away. Okay. Wow. Okay.
Whoa.
Okay. Not bad. Not bad.
Whoa, nice
So,
tap.
Tied up.
Okay.
that's a big comeback. So,
Wow.
yeah, round 2, not doing too
Wow.
bad.
Round
Ted.
2.
Catching up.
We need a coin.
Okay. So we need our coin flipper.
Or the
Ready for
question
the
first.
next question? Okay. So the next question is question number 3. Is there a limit to every destination's tourism growth? What do you guys think? You've got 10 seconds.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Okay.
Someone's going to be making a tough argument here.
So, Ted, this one's for you. Let's flip the coin. If it's heads, you argue yes, and if it's tails, you argue no. It's tails.
So
You're
I'm going
arguing no.
against the grain. All right.
You're arguing no. I'm arguing yes. Okay.
Okay, so
it.
you're using a wild card.
No, I'm
Oh,
just,
he's not. Okay,
No,
go ahead.
He's arguing yes.
I'm arguing yes.
You're starting then, Doug.
Yeah. All right. Everything has a limit, even in travel. There's a good reason you don't get a knock at your door at the hotel room and have the concierge say, "Oh, good afternoon, sir. This is a family that we're going to be putting in your room with you. Because you're a preferred customer, we're only going to give you one extra family to stay with you." There's a reason we have limits in travel. Even at Disney, at 100,000 people at Magic Kingdom, they close the gates. They understand you can't take in more people, right? So every city has a limit before it loses its soul. If you put 10,000 of the most socially responsible hemp clothing wearing backpackers into a little town, it's still going to steamroller the town and take over the fiber of that DNA of that town. It's too much. It's more actually than Disney itself gets. So the thing is, tourists don't distribute themselves evenly. When you come into a city, there's only so many bus places, so many hotel rooms, so many parking lots, so many rooms at attractions, and they don't all fill up at once. There's one that fills up first and creates a bottleneck. That's how it works. So you can alleviate the bottleneck, but then there'll be a bottleneck at the next place. And you can only grow as fast as you can alleviate those bottlenecks and guarantee a reasonably good experience to visitors. So, for example, we know in Amsterdam, where I spoke to the CEO of Amsterdam, that they get 25% of their visitors are from out of town and first-time visitors. And those 25% feel that they have to see the most important attractions in the city center. They'd rather cut off their left ear Van Gogh style than not see them. They really would. And so the thing is, those attractions can only handle so many people. There's a limit to how many people you can put through those attractions. That's it. When those fill up, there's not much place to grow. You can add another attraction. You can increase capacity, but not at an indefinite level. You can't put 300 million people in Bruges, not even in 20 years from now. It can't simply grow at an unlimited rate.
Great, good arguments. Over to you, Ted.
Okay. Actually, I think when you say that we can't grow beyond the capacity, it's a little short-sighted for us. I think that actually we can grow, and there is a way to do it. And I'm going to give an example because I think, yes, you can do it with data, and I'm going to give you an example. Montana. Yeah, everybody heard of Montana? You know that? It's really known for outside. I know my friend Darren's heard of Montana. He's from there. They know that they want to keep the nature of Montana unspoiled. You put too many buses in there and everything else, it ruins from the experience, and it takes away from everything from Montana. So here's what they did. They used data. They wanted to find out. They didn't want to find out who their traveler was. They wanted to find out who their best traveler was. So they did some research, and they wanted to find out who spends more money in Montana, a mountain biker or a road biker? Who do you think spend more money in Montana over a trip? Anyone? The road bikers did because the mountain bikers did because the road bikers were on their bikes all day, and the mountain bikers were like going and getting beer. They were only on their bikes about 2 hours. They did another experiment. Who spends more money? People going to museums or people going for outdoor adventure? The outdoor adventure enthusiasts spend 5 times that in the museum. So they changed their marketing campaign and said, what we'll do. I want to find out the best people. They changed their marketing campaign to go to outdoor enthusiasts, bikers, beer drinkers, all of that. They found that those people, when they came to their destination, spent twice as much money and stayed twice as long. So they can get the same number of people spending that much more money. That was innovative thinking. You were saying Disney is an example. Disney, twice as many people in the park, but the experience hasn't changed because they use data, right? You know the Fast Pass? They realized, God, if we can get people out of line, they would spend more money and do stuff. They use data. The experience is better. They got people spending stuff. Twice as many people go in the park. They figured out how to do it. San Francisco, Atlanta, Phoenix all put stadiums outside the downtown and created an environment that's still part of the city. They figured out how to do it and to keep expanding. If we don't do that, it's short-sighted. All right? I think that you can learn from data and actually get the right people in your destination spending more money.
Good arguments. You've got 30 seconds to do the rebuttal.
They didn't get twice as many people in Disney. That's baloney. They have 100,000 in Magic Kingdom. That's actually a fire department regulation. They can't put more in there. That's it. Doesn't matter how quickly they can move them through the rides. Some rides have 2-hour lines, some rides have no lines, but there is a finite number that they can put in there. With destinations, you could have time ticket entry, you can increase your flow, you can increase your money, and I think that's the right direction to increase visitor spending. But there is still going to be a limit on how many people you can put through. Paris added an Yves Saint Laurent museum this year, but that doesn't mean that people still don't want to go to the Louvre or the Eiffel Tower.
Disney, when I meant all the parks. Yes, they found a way to double all the parks in there. They did. They doubled occupancy in 10 years, and they used data to do it. Now, I just don't think that we could be that short-sighted on saying that we can't grow anymore. Yes, we can learn from the Barcelona mistake, and they were talking like, wow, it's 32 million people and 1.6 million actual people living in there. We can do that. But you can find a way to do it to get better. I agree. I understand that there's an obvious ceiling, but no, I don't want to say that, oh, we're done. That's it. That's as many people we can take. Can't do it. I disagree.
Great. Good argument. So, have they changed your opinion? Let's bring the vote back up. Let's see what you think. And the question was, is there a limit to every destination's tourism growth? If you think yes after hearing their arguments, vote 1. And if you think no, vote 2. You've got 10 seconds starting now.
Huh. This was a tough one, I'll be honest.
No pressure.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a yes. There is a limit.
But it was
you moved the needle.
73%, so I dropped it.
It's shifted.
Nice, Ted.
Well done.
I'm using data.
I can see, let's give another round of applause. I can see things heating up here.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna switch to the middle, just to keep you guys, at a safe distance from each other.
You just want the beer.
Yeah, I just want the beer. Before things get out of control. Okay, so let's move over to the 4th question. Do we have it on the screen? Okay, so the 4th question, which you're going to vote on, and I need my coin flipper at the ready, if you wouldn't mind coming up. Yep. The 4th question that you guys are going to vote on, are DMO websites a waste of time and money? So what's your thoughts? You've got 10 seconds.
I'm anxious to see what the room thinks on this.
Let's have a look. Are DMO websites a waste of time and money? You've got 10 seconds starting now.
Oh, I'm good, thanks.
Huh? I didn't realize this. I know.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Wow.
Ooh.
Oh, that's a strong no, a very strong no.
Right.
It's a question often debated. Okay. So this coin flip is for you, Ted.
It's tails again.
It's tails.
So I'm saying yes, that they are.
Okay.
Tails.
So
Wait.
you're
Tails
saying
is no.
yes.
No, wait.
Tails is no.
Tails is no.
Heads is yes.
Yes. Heads is yes.
So I'll say no. So they're not a waste of time and money.
Okay. So you're going to argue
I'm arguing that they are a
in
waste
favor.
of. Okay, I get to argue that.
Off you go.
All right. So here's what we know. We know that about 80 or 90% of the people who show up in a destination never visited the DMO website. 80 to 90% show up there, never visited, and they do okay. Of the 10 to 20% who do visit the DMO website before they go to a destination, they visit an average of 38 websites to get information. So if one of those 38 were gone, how important is it? That's kind of like, imagine if New York & Company, the marketing office there in New York, was out there selling hot dogs on the street, making and selling hot dogs. They could say, well, we do really good ones. They said, but you don't really need you to do that. There's plenty of other people in the free market that can make and sell hot dogs. You're just one of hundreds. And they're like, no, it's important for us. I think we'd all agree that that's kind of a waste of their time and money. Same thing is now the case. It didn't used to be, but it is now the case online with the website. There are thousands in New York of blogs, apps, other websites, many of them very respected, from New York Times, The Guardian, Lonely Planet, that are all providing the same information that the DMO website is. There's much better places they could be using that time and money at, from fixing the visitor welcome to the visitor experience, training in the stakeholders, paying for advertising, all sorts of things like that. Imagine this. Think of this. Here's one simple case way to think of it. Imagine you want to go to New York for a long weekend. And you're like, you tell your friend, you say, let's go to New York. So you go online, and you're surfing around, and you go, oh, look, I think the official website is down. I guess we can't go now. Do you think New York would lose one single visitor if their website crashed for a month? And if the answer is no, or maybe just one, it's definitely a waste of their time and money for the millions they spend on it. You can get data, it does generate data, but these people buy that data anyway. It's not enough to just take the data from their website. They need to go out and buy it anyway. So that's not a justification. I think it's safe to say there are much better places they could be spending their time and money than on a website today.
Okay, now it's your turn.
I completely, 100% disagree with Doug on that at all. At a time with all this fake news going on there about what's being said and what's that, I'm going to take this a step higher than just a website. I'm going to take this to a DMO. What is that trusted source for every single destination globally? And it is the DMO. It is the information and everything that they give to everybody. And the website is the embodiment of their brand. If there's going to be somebody that's going to channel all that information and actually be that trusted source on where to go, what's safe, what are the restaurants to go to, it's the DMO website. Now, I get it. Of course, it's not going to rank in the top 10 because of Facebook and Yelp and TripAdvisor, but they still get millions of viewers. And here's one thing that's a statistic that I think is very important. At ADARA, we have 120 pixels out there on global DMO websites tracking from people visit the site to if they book and if they go fly or visit a hotel in that destination. For the people that visit the DMO website, they stay longer, they spend more. That's important. That's an argument for the DMO site. Imagine if the DMO site went away. Well, who is going to be the curator of that content? Who is going to be that official voice of the destination that people can trust? Just like we're dealing with the United States. What do you trust? It's certain sources. The DMO site will always be that source. You don't have to spend a whole lot of money. The question is time or money? Yeah, you're right. You don't have to spend $100,000 on the site. You can find a way to curate user-generated content, other content, to make your case and make it clean, efficient. But that is the DMO site. It should not go away. Imagine if it did. That's my go.
Okay, you've got 30 seconds to do the rebuttal.
Does New York need an official hot dog? Does it need one? Do we need to have an official website? We seem to get by just fine without the official something in many other sites. The thing is, if all of these visitors can get there just fine and do just fine and spend money, there are better places to spend that money than putting it into the website. It used to be the case. When we first moved everything online, it's a historical thing. We put things in brochure racks, then we moved it online. That's what the DMO did. Now there's a lot of competition, and these other people can say something that the DMO can't. Which are the best things to see and do? The DMO says that, they piss off the stakeholders.
Out of time. So now it's your 30 seconds.
You're saying exactly what they're saying, that they can say what stuff that the DMO can't. One thing they can't say is that they are the official voice or anything of that destination.
Who cares?
So it's projected. No, it's not prepared. You can't do that. So no, actually, the whole question is it a waste of time and money? It is not a waste of time and money. You have to invest that. Can you get smarter with your time and money? Yes. You have to invest in the site. You know why that's a waste of time and money? Because there are a lot of crappy DMO sites out there. And you all know that. But there are a lot of really, really good ones. And so if anything we need to do, aspire to get a better site. Never lose control of your content or the DMO.
Good arguments from both sides. Right, so let's see what you guys think and if they manage to sway the needle the other way. So, are official destination websites a waste of time and money after hearing their arguments? Let's see. 10 seconds on the clock. Curious here.
Ooh. Is that, what did that do?
Didn't change a great deal, did it?
So what, I don't know the percentages.
Someone kept track.
It's a few points, so they're staying the same. They still don't
It's all right.
Yeah, there we go. Interesting.
We might have another.
Okay, but this is the last round now, the last question.
There might be a lot of DMOs out there trying to protect their jobs.
I was going to ask that, but I won't ask that. So, last question. Are you ready?
This last one's fun, guys.
Okay, are you guys ready?
All right, it's the last one. Let's do it.
Yep. Have you all got your beers?
Yes.
So a few of you. Okay, do raise your hand.
Give him a beer.
Okay.
Get that guy a beer.
So, the fifth
Get
is
her
a
a beer.
beer. Okay, I'm not moderating the beers. So, the fifth question. Okay, fifth question for the audience. Should all marketing decisions be made by the research department? So, questions on the screen. You got 10 seconds. You can vote now. Oh, wow. That's a huge percentage for no.
Wow.
So interesting, interesting. OK, so if you would be so kind. And this is for Ted, this coin toss. So go ahead.
It's tails.
It's tails. So you're arguing against.
Actually, I get to choose my card here. I'm going to argue that, yes, they should be decided by the research department. I'm going to go ahead and go against the grain here, guys.
Going with the wild card.
I'm going to go with the wild card on this one. So we have to, all right.
Does this have something to do with all the slides you prepared?
It is. It is. Absolutely, we need to actually have the research department making the decisions. We are now in the age of the nerd. They took over sports. They took over the stock market. They're going to take over tourism, and that's a good thing. Look, right here. The nerd is the new sexy. Doug's wearing glasses, and he doesn't even need them. Why? Because he wants to be a nerd. We know that. So Doug's going to tell you to go with your heart, which is the marketing. Oh, marketing should make all these decisions. I'm going to tell you to go with your brain. See, now if DMOs competed in the Olympics, the research department would use statistics and analysis, and they would get much better. The marketers, they're all over the place. Well, I don't know. That ad's better than this ad. Researcher's skill set, think about this. Researchers show up on time for the meeting, they run them smoothly. Here's the other thing. Researchers can actually listen and not talk for 15 minutes like the marketers can all the time, right? So granted, I'm going to represent the nerds here. We can be conservative and our glass is half empty, which is something in common with the marketers, because their glass is always half empty because they're always boozing it up, right? Let's look at some stuff that was not approved by the research department that the marketing got out here. I took a sheet in the pool. Yeah, that was not approved by the researcher. The researchers didn't approve this. Nothing sucks like an Electrolux, right? Not approved by a researcher. 19 out of 20 condoms don't break. Not approved by the researcher. I'm not even going to say that, but Turkish Airlines should have not let that go out. That was not approved by research. Rhode Island's campaign, cooler and warmer, no researcher let that get by. How about this, Nebraska? Does that make anyone want to go to Nebraska at all? I'm sorry. Researcher never would have approved that ad either. So let's look at it. Here's what's wrong. The marketers all get a hands, they think they're doing the right job, and all of their advertising looks the same, right? Because they're following their heart, they're not following their brain, right? Look at that. So let's talk about Virginia. Virginia, they used the researcher, they took over their marketing department. They ever found out that if they pixeled everything and tracked everything, they could actually extend stay by seeing if they ran campaigns that way. That's what they did. The researcher did that. Marketing would have just shotgunned that stuff everywhere. They actually tracked all the creative to see which creative really worked well. Which creative you think really worked well here? Which drove the most bookings, right? They did 9 pieces. These 3 worked the best. Outdoor, wine, and oysters. They had an oyster in their ad. They did so much better than anything else. They did that. That was the researcher. Doug's going to tell you that marketing's better. Following marketing is following your heart. And the heart always is going to get you in trouble. Follow your brain. I'm going to leave you with one quote and I'm done. Follow your brain. Your heart is stupid as shit.
OK. Blunt, pretty blunt, pretty blunt. So you've got to argue now against that.
Against 28 slides in 2.5 minutes?
28 slides, 2.5 minutes.
That was skill.
Over to you.
And beer.
I saw that you use creative in there. That
Clock
means,
is ticking.
Yeah, that means creative is involved in this thing. Should the research department be consulted in various campaigns? Definitely. Should they be calling all the shots? No way. If Henry Ford let his research department do everything for him, we'd just have a faster stagecoach. We wouldn't have a car. Here's what researchers are great at. They can't see the paradigm shift coming. They didn't predict the iPhone coming. But once we all have mobile phones, they're really good at standing behind us and seeing which direction we're headed. They all said, hey, we're going to be using our mobile devices more. Duh. We can all see that coming. That's what research is really good at. And it's easy to see the last ad that people looked at before they clicked through the purchase. But you'll never find the stats that tell them the complete reason that people purchase. They may have just finished a book about that destination or saw a movie or a TV show, or their neighbor told them about it while they were both throwing out the trash. We don't know. We just don't know all the facts with the data. So there's no point in handing it over. And the fact is we do know that personal referrals from friends, family, and their networks have the biggest impact. And those don't all occur electronically. So Ted and his team of nerds can't see it. We want to make sure that those people are giving out good recommendations, and that means enhancing the visitor experience, putting time into the welcome, keeping the city and the beaches clean, providing inspirational advertising so you're top of mind as often as possible. If you're in a DMO, you're in the business of moving people with emotional stuff. And all that creative and inspirational messaging cannot be found on a spreadsheet created by a team of nerds.
Very good. Well within your time as well, Doug. So you've got 30 seconds to do the rebuttal.
Here's the thing. I mean, first of all, I feel bad that somebody didn't welcome you somewhere at some time or place, man. I feel bad about that. Here's the thing. Absolutely, creative needs to handle creative. A researcher can't do creative at all. That's a completely different side of the brain. We're talking about marketing. We're talking about the marketing decisions, and absolutely, they're going to be able to look and see what marketing. The creative's going to come up with the creative, but the researchers are going to say where it's most effective, where it's drawing the most stuff. They should control the marketing decisions on that. Completely agree on that. But the creative and everything else in the welcome centers, let them handle that. But in terms of where to place media, what's driving it, what's effective, what's working, that needs to come from the research.
Over to you.
I just want to pull up one slide first. Can we do that? I didn't get a chance to use that last time. This is the only slide I've got. There's a reason that nearly all marketers spend time and money on inspiration. That's why people go. There's a good reason that these companies are spending millions on TV advertising to inspire with creative and inspirational content. All research and no creative inspiration is like shooting an arrow with no tip on the arrow.
Okay, good arguments on both sides. Once again, that was the last round. So let's see now what you guys think. So let's bring up the question again. Should all marketing decisions be made by the research department? Did they persuade you to change your mind? Let's have a look. You've got 10 seconds on the clock.
Last one.
Last one.
Do ADARA people get to vote?
No.
I don't think they're voting for me.
They're banned from voting. Okay, let's see. Wow.
Wow.
That is a big, big shift.
Wow.
That's a big shift. I have to say, well done on that.
Credit, Ted.
So,
Respect.
okay, well, a few seconds while we count up the votes. Who do you think won this debate?
I don't think we need to vote there. I think it's pretty obvious.
For the whole session, though. We've gone through 5 questions, 5 really fundamental key questions. Should a destination promote itself as a safe place to visit? Should we focus more marketing funds on the welcome? Is there a limit to the destination's tourism growth? And are the DMO websites waste of time and money? And that last question, should decisions on marketing be made by the research department? So, some really big questions. Do we have a score? I can't read that. You'll have to bring it up. Let's see.
You could borrow my fake glasses.
Okay, so Ted, Doug, the winner of the Great Debate 2017 at ITB Berlin is Ted.
Ted.
Congratulations.
Nice.
Thank you.
Ted, you won 3 out of the 5 rounds.
Prost.
So congratulations.
Prost,
Give
everyone.
a big round of applause to these guys. Thank you,
Did you
Ted.
guys-
Thank you, Doug. And thanks also to ADARA for the drinks.
Thank you,
And
ADARA.
thank you to all of you for coming. We'll see you next year.
Are we out of beer? We still have some more beer?
Got some beer. Grab a beer on the way out. Thank you all for coming during happy hour. Hope you had a good time and hope you like this format. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, this was really a great final today of our Future Day.